If you have a son and you know you have a son in the world, go get him. Go back and claim your son. That's the only way we're going to end it. The only way we're going to end it. And to all of the fatherless sons out there, I would say acknowledge your pain. Acknowledge your pain.
And the anger.
And the anger. And then learn to affirm yourself and then forgive. Okay. Those three things.
So isn't it first, because most men are, as we've discussed here, and you all have been in this space, some of you still are, where you're like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Okay, you know for sure it matters.
Love yourself enough to honor your pain. And know that no one is going to think any less of you because you acknowledge that there's a wounding there.
Because you can see, everybody has it.
And in that wound, I promise you, buried beneath the pain, the shame, the guilt, the fear of that wound is your power. And so many men aren't standing in their power because they're using their energy covering the wound.
My co-teachers tonight, Iyanla Van Zandt and Roland Warren with the National Fatherhood Initiative. Also joining our live class tonight, 150 men who know firsthand the pain of growing up with absent, inconsistent, and negligent fathers. We're happy to have you join us again. I told my producers that when you get 150 men together, I knew this. I said that we were going to be opening up some things and that you've never really talked about before. Is that true?
Yeah.
And that when you start talking about them, you want to keep talking about them. So we're going to need some time. Because I was saying you have this version of yourself as being the perfect person, or as perfect as you can be.
Well, here's another point. I just asked him a question, which is, I already knew the answer before I asked him. And I said, what kind of father did you have?
My father wasn't there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you create this script of what this ideal father is supposed to be, and then you try to live up to a script that's not reality. You've been talking about that, and then when you don't, you feel I'm not worthy, and you pull away. And this is why I was.
And you're more likely to create the script when you haven't seen what a real father is.
Looks like.
That's right.
How long did it take you to get that help?
About 8 years.
This is important because I want the young men and women who are without a father to hear what that conversation is. I got to do better, but I don't know how. He said, I need help. Mm-hmm. Some fathers will say, but I don't know how, so let me leave it alone. Some fathers will say, well, F it, I'm not going to do nothing. Other fathers will say, help me, Jesus. Other fathers will say, this is too much, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you
is
understand?
that resonating with you all? Yeah. That resonates with me too.
So understand that's what the conversation is.
And what's important about this is that what we talked about in the last life class is you are telling yourself what you think he's saying. In your child's mind, you're thinking that it's about you or about the family or leaving the family or the family wasn't good enough or wasn't worthy enough. But in fact, that person your father is
thinking it's about him.
It's about him. And if he knows he can't measure up, as you said, inadequacy, men can't handle it.
It's kryptonite.
Kryptonite. You all know that.
Yes, I'm having a real problem with where we're going right now because I think we're just keep feeding into that same not good enough issue with Dwayne just now and here again on the shot. We need to build community. Men have a hard time doing that. Women process very differently. Mm-hmm. To say to a guy, well, open up your heart, just get vulnerable. We need to model for each other and work with each other. Organizations like the Mankind Project. Organizations like BoysToMen mentoring, they help other men to open up and to do that work. And ideally, they do it in front of the boys.
That's right.
That we're mentoring. We need to start as a community to get together and mentor these boys and not look at this like a linear process. I need to first heal myself, and then I can do something for the boys that are hungry and waiting for this. We need to fill that appetite right now, and we can do that work right in front of them because they start trusting us when we start to open up.
And when you trust yourself. Well, please
that's a bit, but don't hear it as a linear thing. It's not about I have to first do this and then I'm eligible to do that. We have it in our balls and in our bones. We have it in our genes. We don't
have those, so we didn't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I started out, I have my mentee here. I have my BoysToMen mentee here, Raphael. We started when he was 15 years old. He's going to art college now. He's a typical single mom, Hispanic background, abandoned kid, no father. And he's going to art college now here in Chicago. I'm so proud of you.
See what he said? Did you see what he said? Are you proud of him?
And trust me, when we started out, I was not a healed man. I was hurting just as bad, if not worse, than he did.
And so where did you start?
I started in real life. See, I grew up in competitive sports. I was a pro tennis player. Everything was competitive. I didn't even notice. My whole framework in relating to men was about competing with other men. And I didn't even realize that I shut out 50% of the population out of my life. I always talk to women about the issues of the heart. Now, all of a sudden, I realized, whoa, there's 50% more people on this planet, and it's about time for me to discover who
So where did you start? Where did you start?
I went to the Mankind Project. I did my own initiation. I had waited long enough for some elders to show up to take me out in the wilderness, as you said earlier.
But you know what?
But you are modeling exactly. We just noticed that you turned to him, Raphael, and said, I'm proud of you.
One of the four things that a man needs to know.
Again, we do this every day. We do this every day. We tell these boys, there's nothing that you can do or say that will have my love for you be less.
Yeah.
Who did not want to hear that when you were growing up?
Thank you so much.